Hello and welcome again, yet again. I'm Walt, and today our guest comes from Eleaf. It is the Eleaf IWu pod. Let's go. It came in a box, and this is what the box looks like. Inside of the box, we got an extra pod. We got a USB charging cable. We got some literature, which I can't seem to put my hands on at the moment. And we got the IWu. The IWu consists of an outer sleeve, this black portion here, with some slits cut into it. That outer sleeve actually pulls up into this position so that it can house the pod inside so you don't get it dirty, and it actually pulls right off. On the sides you can see two little almost like ball bearings, and they correspond with these holes on the sides to keep that snapped into those different positions. The outer sleeve itself is made out of metal, and the inner sleeve is, the inner portion, the battery itself, is made out of plastic. We have IWu on there. You've got a little LED indicator. We'll talk about that in a little bit. On the bottom you have the USB port, and that's about it. On the top we have the pod. The pod snaps into position. You can see on the inside that we have the negative connections and the positive connections, and there's also a little tiny hole right here, and that's configured in such a way that regardless of which way you put the pod, it's going to work. That hole right there is actually the pressure switch and or the vacuum switch. So the switching is in the battery itself. If you were to put a vacuum on just this without the pod on there, okay, that vacuum would actuate the switch, and that LED light would light up indicating that a battery was working. Pod itself, simple enough. You can see through it really nicely. It's a little tinted, but you can see through it. You can see how much liquid you got. One thing some people talk about a little bit is the fact that when the sleeve is on there, you can't really see the liquid level. You have to pop the sleeve off to see that. Here on the side you have latches that help it connect. Here we have our negative and positive posts, and here we have two air holes. That's where all the air comes in, and that's also one of these two will line up with that pressure switch in the battery, and of course turn the unit on when you take a vape. To fill the thing, you've got a little rubber stopper here. The rubber stopper peels open from the top. If you don't pull too hard the bottom of it, there's another rubber piece that stays into place. It's not too bad to fill. You need something fairly small to fill it. An eyedropper's pretty rugged. It's a little large. And then the other piece of this is putting it back down. That went right into place right away. Sometimes that doesn't want to snap into place right away, and it really is important that you do get that in sealed very well. Not only because of the mess that it can create from liquid leaking, but also because you don't want that liquid to get down here on the bottom, okay, and actually find its way into that pressure switch, because that could cause the unit to malfunction, which obviously would not be a good deal. Putting the thing back together, easy enough. Just pop it into place. Take the sleeve, pop it into place, and here you can see you really don't, the amount of juice in there, the juice well is really not too visible. That's it. That's what it looks like up close. I'm going to give this my best shot. This one for me is going to be rough to talk about. It was difficult to do this review. It's my very first pod. Not entirely sure how to compare it to anything else. I can't compare it to anything else. It does have better flavor than my first EGO AIO one, which that was a minute ago, but that's what I started with. Much better flavor than that. Definitely a mouth to lung draw. I would consider it a very restrictive mouth to lung draw. I tried a number of different e-liquids in it. It's recommended to be used with the salts. I tried a salt, and that damn near killed me. It's been a long time since I've done that kind of nicotine concentration. What I did find finally was 6 milligram standard nicotine mix that it works fine for me. This is not something that I would necessarily vape all day long, as far as just hitting at it back and forth like I do a normal mod. This is more of a nicotine fix kind of a situation. I take a hit off of this and I'm good for a while. So this is something to carry around, for me at least, in my pocket when I'm out and about and I know I can't be constantly vaping, and I start to feel like I need some nicotine. This takes care of it really well. Takes care of it right now. The feature of it popping up here so that the mouthpiece goes inside, that's nice. It assists in keeping the thing clean. As far as simple, I don't know how much simpler you could possibly get. You put e-liquid in the side of it. You need a small filler needle, and you may have to kind of stick with trying to get that little rubber flap back into place. That can be difficult sometimes. But you fill this thing up and you draw on it, and that's it. And it works. When you draw on it, the light on the bottom lights up. They say there's 4 colors with that. They say there's green, then I think purple, then orange, then red. On this particular one, maybe because it's red, I see 2 colors, green and red, and that's about it. The battery life, I think, is pretty doggone good on it. Like I say, I don't hit this like I do a normal mod, but it definitely lasts me all day using it for nicotine maintenance. It's fine for that, for sure. The thing will start blinking. Well, the LED at the bottom will start blinking when the battery is low, indicating it's definitely time to recharge it. It charges pretty darn quick, somewhere in the vicinity of about an hour is what I've been finding. So that's about all that I know to say about it, to be honest with you. I think it's just a real simple, easy unit to use. It's light, it's small, it's compact. It's sweet for what it is. So with that, let you go. Hope to see you again sometime. Thanks as always.